guys, what's up? It's Darkmake here and welcome back to another Mythic Plus guide. Today we're covering off King's Rest. So if you are new to these guides, these are designed for newer tanks or intermediate tanks moving into that plus 10 bracket and the newer fix for Season 4 Awakened. How to deal with the obelisk pathing, where to put them, what kind of route to take through a dungeon. And yeah, to give you the confidence, I suppose, to be able to step into that environment and feel confident in knowing what you are doing. So getting into this one today, we are covering off King's Rest. I am going to try and get through it sort of as quickly as I can without dragging on a hell of a lot. So first pack in King's Rest, generally you want to take care of the little adds to the left when you run down here is the first thing that you always want to do. Now you can either do that with a priest via Mass Dispel. You can do it with a rogue and cloak, which is what we were doing here. However, cloak kind of screwed up a little bit and we had two left over here. Warriors can run in and use Zerka Rage and try and melt them down. You can run in as a DK and use AMS as well and you won't be feared. Main thing is though, you just don't want to be feared off into any of these Guardians. Now first pull here, we're going to do 3 Guardians. Now you can do this however you want, it all depends on your confidence level. Coming out of the gate here in King's Rest, there's 2 Guardians here and then there's 2 Guardians over this end. I'm going to pull this one and the 2 over here. In other packs or other routes, you can pull 4 of these and skip something later and do something different. However, this is just the way we do it, and this route pretty much, you know, is one that you can do consistently each week. So I'm going to speed pot, I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to grab these 2 Guardians here. Now, one thing that is worth noting with the Guardians, guys, if you get into a situation where this suppression slam here is going to cuck you as the tank or your group, you can grip these off, you can mass grip them off, you can ring of peace them. You can take them off their cast of Suppression Slam if you need to reposition them or something like that. What you generally want to do as the tank is group them all up and have them facing one way. Suppression Slam's going to go off and you can see it faintly with these little blue frontal cones here. You just want to kind of pivot around. Pivot! You want to pivot around as they go, and then sort of spin them back around and then face them over this way again, spin around for each one of the 3 of them and keep going around. Main thing is you never want to face them on your group. So you can see here, they're going off in that direction. So then I'm over here and I'm going to let the next one sort of cast over this and I'm going to move over to the right. So there's the next one going. You can see it's very faint, but this is where the line for it finishes. The next one's coming up. So I've gone back into the one. The effect will be left on the ground too after it's cast. So sorry, I said I'd be really quick with all this stuff, but you can see here, this was the Guardian that just cast Suppression Slam. It's already finished, okay, but the effect is still there. This one in the middle is casting it now, and it's kind of going over this section here, so I can move back into this without taking any damage. So yeah, it's very much about just using your fucking eyeballs and not getting hit. So once they're down, we're going to go into the obelisk here and we're going to take the obelisk, which is the tank buster here, into the first boss room. So again, same rules always apply with the tank buster, guys. Generally, you don't want to tank it in the face while you've got the spirit breaker debuff on you. Things hurt. So when you get it, run away. He's going to do this Dark Fury cast. Don't be standing in the big bad circle. Run him away. Pretty much a rinse repeat of this. Don't be afraid to kite it though. As a DK, you know, I really like Rune Tap for these guys in particular. It's very nice to be able to just take a hit with Rune Tap and run away and kind of have it as a safety there. But yeah, don't feel like you have to stand there and take melees to the face with this guy. When Spirit Breaker's on you, generally it pays to run away. So we're going to kill him and then we're going to come out in the first boss room. Now we have a rogue in our group, so we are going to do is we're going to come out of the rift. We're going to hit the gong and our rogue is going to go. You can see Dougs up here on the map. See where Dougs is? This little yellow dot. He's on the other side. My mouse is on the screen right now. He is on the other side of this and that's where the ads spawn. Now there is a weak aura. I'm going to remember to put it there, okay? I promise you. There's a weak aura. Sorry, I just had to move something. There's a weak aura in the description which will tell you when these ads are spawning, which is, if you are a rogue, you need this. Because what you're going to do is when you gong, the ads, if I press play, when you hit the gong here, you can see the ads spawn throughout the room. Now, up where Dugs is, you can see his little nameplate. There's going to be all those little minions of Zul shadows that spawn. Your rogue can hit cloak when these all pop. He can run through them all, and then he can vanish. So now we don't have to worry about dealing with the ads. Now, if you didn't have a rogue in your group, you're going to have to be careful, especially on bolstering. Generally, what you would want to do is pull either these two, if you want to be really safe, pull these two warriors to the left, kill them, wait for the shadow of minions of Zulads, whatever the fuck they're called, to pat down here, pull them when they get to here because you've killed these two warriors, and then kill this right pack. If you've got a druid, you can mass root them as well, but just with bolstering, if you want to be really safe, grab the two warriors on the left, kill them, wait for them to come around, then kill them. But otherwise, if you've got a rogue, get them to cloak up the back. So moving into this pool, we're going to 4 pull here. We're going to pull the Doctor, the Champion, and these two warriors over here. The biggest thing here is the Doctor. You want to make sure that you're interrupting the Deathly Chills when you can, but the main one is the Shadow Belt Volley. You must interrupt that. So have a kick order going for that and make sure you're getting the interrupts. The Champion will deck people, so again, just be aware of that. He'll also enrage, so if you've got a Soothe, a Druid, or a Hunter, very valuable when this guy enrages, especially on bolstering weeks. He'll also do this Vigilant Defense, which is a large shield in front of him, so try and not have that facing at your DPS so they don't have to move. They can always just run around it, but if they don't have to move, they're generally happier. The Warriors will cast out these tornadoes, these gushing, windy tornado things. Just don't get hit by them. And that is pretty much it. So you can see here the Champion's enraged. We don't have a Soothe, but he's dead anyway, so it's fine. So next we're going to move into this top right pack. So again, have your kick order set for the Witch Doctor. So I'm going to get the first kick, and then we're going to rotate kicks through. The Warriors aren't really a big deal. You can slow, you can stun the Warriors as well. Again, never feel like you just have to stand there and take slaps to the face, guys. As a tank, it is more than manly to run away. But yeah, the Witch Doctor is just the biggest one here. So you can see Shadow Bolt Volley is going to go off next. That's the one you need to kick. That's all you need to make sure you're kicking. The Warriors, just watch out for these little tornadoes. And that's it. So once they're dead, we're moving into this pack in the top left corner. Again, this pack is a little bit spicy. Again, it all just comes down to interrupts on the Witch Doctor. Just make sure that you are kicking the Witch Doctor's casts, watching out for these gust slashes as the dot does hurt. So again, if there's heaps of tornadoes in the area, run. Like you've got a square in the middle here that you can use line of sight on. If you run as the tank all the way over here and you're line of sighting them, they won't cast. They will run to you. So you have access to that stuff. Use the room to your advantage if you need to. You can see the Champion here has enraged, and we have no way to clear that. So you can see he's dealing quite a bit of damage. You do get a little bit of a break or a breather, I suppose, when he casts the Vigilant Defense. So again, if you need to run away, run away. So we're just going to kill them, and he's down, and then the first boss is going to spawn. Now with the first boss, pretty much you're just going to tank it in place here. The spit gold management is on, pretty much it's on your group. It's on your group to manage properly. And what they want to be doing is they want to be dropping spit gold up at the gong, not under the boss. So I'm going to tank the boss here. The first spit gold's about to come out now. So spit gold's come out. It's on Tiger, so you can see Tiger is running up near the gong up the top here, and she's going to drop her gold puddle up there. The reason being is where you drop your gold puddles is where your ads are going to spawn from. You want to have enough safety distance in regards to travel time to your boss, because if the ads get to the boss, it puts an absorption shield on him, and that's all bad things. So what you want to do is have your ads dropped up far enough. You can see Ted just dropped some up there. Luca's Call here, this is where the ads get summoned. So you can see here it's about to go off. The ads are going to spawn out of the gold here. I'm going to put my D&D down as a slow. Again, you can just mass root these if you have a druid and not worry about them. Otherwise, stuns, slows, your DPS will usually clear them up like with a beam or something like that. Someone will go and melt them. And the main thing is just don't let them get to the boss. Now, if you need to, you can 100% slowly start coming around to the side of the room, which you will have to do because these gold puddles stay and more ads come. So what you want to do is just slowly move around here and have your DPS continue to drop their puddles along here. You don't want people, though, going and dropping puddles off in other areas because you want to have all the ads flowing one way, because the higher the key, especially on Tyrant levels, you will end up going around this room, and you kind of want to make a train of ads. So you want to keep them all flowing the same way and not splitting off in different directions around our little obstacle in the middle here. So you can see he does a gust here too, which you need to run out of. Sorry, I should have said a tail thrash. This boss isn't really too much to worry about. It's all ad management. So again, you can see the ads coming in through here. You can Ring of Peace them, you can Typhoon them, you can slow them, you can stun them, as I said. Just make sure you as the tank are watching where the ads are. Move the boss back if you have to. And that's pretty much it. Run out on the Serpent Gust thing. And that's pretty much it. I've said that's pretty much it a lot, haven't I? So then we're running up into this next room here, which is the King's Room. This is where everything can generally go wrong on a fort week. It is quite a tough room to get through. So we get the top right pack first, which is Queen Patala and the Raptor. Now, Queen Patala owns, like she does a lot of damage. So on a bolstering week like this one, Queen Patala is absolutely your focus to nuke down first, not the Raptor. The hunting leaps here on a DK, on a monk, you can Ring of Peace the hunting leaps off, you can Typhoon the hunting leap off, I believe as well. You can Death Grip the hunting leap off as well. So if your DPS are in a shit position, so here's Chewie, this little blur here, here's the Raptor's head facing Chewie, and he's doing a hunting leap. So what I'm going to do so Chewie can keep hitting it is I'm going to grip the Raptor off its hunting leap so I don't have to worry about that. And then we can all just continue DPSing Patala in the hopes that she doesn't drop another purple puddle where she's about to and we don't have access to her, which is right here. Now, purple stuff is bad stuff, so don't stand in bad stuff. And that's pretty much it. She is just going to shoot and own you though. So next we're going to get, what pack do we get next? I think we get this pack over here next. No, we get the big pack, which we would have wanted for Hero. Generally, sorry, I didn't say two. On Fortified Week, the first 3 Guardian pack, that's where you're going to Hero, and then you're going to Hero again in this room. The higher the key, you would be wanting to use Hero on this pack or the one below us. On a Tyrant Week, you'll always be heroing the first boss as the Spit Gold actually just absolutely owns. So we get this pack here. This pack corks out a heap of damage, and then we'll do these swirls. What the hell are they called? Shadow Whirls. These Shadow Whirls are giant purple swirlies on the ground. It's physical damage too, and it absolutely BBQ pones you. I'm pretty sure it's physical damage, but it absolutely smashes you. So just don't stand in it. Your focus target here on a bolstering week is always going to be a Carl. If it's not a bolstering week, it's not really a problem. However, loads of damage coming out on this pack here as well. The agents have quite a substantial less amount of health as well. And obviously bolstering King Akal is, the last thing that you want to do heavily. We do an okay job, sort of. What's he got? 4 stacks. He ends up with 4 stacks at sort of a fairly high health pool. We would have much preferred to get him a little bit lower, but if it's not a bolstering weight, you don't really have to worry about that. So again, just don't stand in the purple swirls and you'll be fine with him. Then we're on to the next pack we get, which is... I can't remember which one we got next. Come with me on this adventure and find out. So then we get these 3 over here. So, thing with these 3 here. Mabara is going to cast a heal someone always needs to kick. A 2 is going to cast an axe throw, which leaves a debuff. If you bring them over to this wall here, you can actually line of sight the axe debuff, but considering you're in here watching a guide for sort of +10 and intermediate, you don't need to worry about that, just stand here. And this guy in the middle with the star, which I can't see these names because of the Tricks logo, he's going to cast a Chain Lightning. Now, when the Chain Lightning's going off, you can either Typhoon it, Ring a Piece it, or Grip it off. As a DK, you can get every single one with Grip, so you don't have to worry about that. So... Raui, that'll do. So again, big thing is Mabara's kick. Someone needs to make sure they have that. So you can see it's probably going to get cast. Maybe is a cast even going to get off? Induced Regeneration. Make sure you kick that. There was the Axe Barrage that I was talking about. So if you are doing this on a high enough key, you can see Axe Barrage there on the left. You can actually line of sight that around the corner if you drag them over to here. If someone just ducks out of line of sight, they won't cop this debuff. And Ra is going to do this lightning channel. Did he already do the lightning channel and I've skipped over it? Is he going to do another one? Hold on. He's going to do a lightning channel that you as the tank can death grip off. So you can see here, he's about to do lightning here. So I'm going to just step off to the side, death grip him over. Just have to move him and he'll stop the cast. So that's it. So we're going to get them down and then we're going to do this next pack here. This chick here is going to do Shadow Bolts. Again, have a kick order. This guy's going to do a Blade Storm. Don't stand in it and get hit. So that's pretty much them done. Dougs got hit by the Blade Storm and he died. The chick, is also going to, what's it called? Is it called Enslave? Seduction. She's going to seduce someone. As a Demon Hunter, they can just purge it off them straight away. If it goes on the Demon Hunter, just stun them. Alright, so then we're moving off to the next obelisk. Now, we're going to kill the bridge pack here. Again, this is just our route. You can certainly change things in the route, but we're just going to kill this obelisk pretty much here. Now, one thing with this obelisk with the Flesh Fiends, these Flesh Fiends can absolutely own people on higher keys. They interact with affixes too, so they bolster, they stack necrotic, they enrage, they drop sanguine, all of that cool stuff. So with this one as a DK, I generally like, if I don't need mass grip to coming up, mass gripping these in and then getting your stuns rolling on them or just nuking them with AoE is absolutely advisable, as they will own. So I generally mass grip them into an AoE taunt essence. It just saves my group, especially on a skittish week, and when you've got like a Pally, a Rogue, and a DH that are all just going to explode the mobs. But again, otherwise, just communicate with your group. Huge thing as a tank is communication. If you don't have anything, tell people. If they need to run away and you need to slow them and kite, tell people. You don't want to get too many stacks from those Flesh Fiends on you. Around 6 to 7 is really pushing it. So again, if you need to kite, make sure you kite. But we're going to kill this one here. We're going to go through the portal and then we're going to come out onto this construct here. Now the construct first is going to do a purification strike. So I'm moving that to the edge. It's a large round circle of fire. And then going to move him back out of the way of that and into the middle. And he's going to do a laser beam and chase us around with it, this purification beam. All you need to do is just make sure that you don't stand in the beam and you run around him. Once that's finished, I'm going to drag him towards the user room. He's going to do another purification strike. So pretty much wherever he is he's just going to hammer that down. So I'm just going to put it behind us and then I'm just going to move him forward. Shouldn't have too many issues on this one. Just don't stand in the bad lava and don't get hit by the laser beam. So then we're moving out, then we're moving out into the fluids here. Now, generally you would do this all in one pull. It's bolstering though, so we elected to do it in 2. Probably could have done it in 1 pull though fairly safely, but as with everything, it's sometimes best to just play it safe. So you can see here, all you want to do is just try and avoid standing in these little green circles. You've got AMS, which means you can pretty much run through anything if you need to. Otherwise, don't try and kite them out this door. If you kite them out this door, what's going to happen is all this green shit is going to fill up this doorway. You're not going to be able to get back through without being giga slowed and taking damage. And you're also just going to have to sit there and wait for them. So if you can, try and kind of just maneuver them up and around this area without obviously aggroing the boss. So you can see here, I am just sort of moving over to this bit and then I can go back around here if I want, if I need to, but I don't need to because they're dead. And then we're just going to grab the other side. So again, if this is something that you want to play safe, do it in 2 pulls. Otherwise, you can certainly do it in 1. Just don't go out the doorway. I think the doorway is a really bad idea. So I'm just going to mass grip all of these to me, and then I'm going to use my essence to make sure they're on me, and then I'm just going to dodge the green shit on the ground. So, yeah. Don't feel like you need to leg it a country mile. You can see here, it's only if the green stuff is going on you that you're actually in any danger. I haven't been hit by anything yet, and I'm just moving around and it still gives me access to hit everything. Again, bolstering week always makes everything a little bit slower. Now, here comes the cool thing. Actually, it comes after these mobs. I'm going to pull this construct over here to the other side because there's no need to fight these one at a time. On any week, you always want to bring these 2 constructs over to the same side. And what you can do is you can just position yourself at this top sarcophagus here. Sounds so smart knowing that word, don't I? Shut up. And what you can do is as soon as someone gets entombed, you can just spam click this sarcophagus here because they're always going in this sarcophagus. The closest sarcophagus that you are to, they're going into. So just stand here, entomb goes off, spam click this, they're out. That's it. And that's pretty much all you need to do with these. Now on Gweenie weeks, obviously just make sure that you don't kill one directly in front of it. So there's a large Gweenie pool for whoever is coming out or the other construct is standing in. Aside from that, you shouldn't have too many problems. The only other time this gets slightly spicy is on like a necrotic week or something like that, because you obviously have no way to break the stacks of necrotic unless you're like a dank iron dwarf with a racial or something like that. You will be just taking, higher and higher necrotic stacks while these are still alive. So just be aware of that, but otherwise this is the easiest way to do it. So once they're dead, you will see that there are markers in front of each sarcophagus. Now there's a reason for this, because there's something on Makimba that you can do that makes your life ridiculously easy, and that you can pretty much bug him out. And it's just been this way forever and they just don't seem to care. So what we're going to do first here with Makimba is you need to look at is this Burning Corruption. What you want to have is everybody in your group stacked up in the one spot, because Burning Corruption is going to drop a large ball of fire under players. It's going to target a random person. If you're all stacked up, you can control where you are dropping those Burning Corruptions, and that's exactly what we want to do. So we're all stacked up in here at the top. Burning Corruption is going off in 3 seconds, and we want to put it up on this platform up here. Burning Corruption goes off. Here it is. Now we can all move out of the way and we know exactly where it was and where it was going. Drain Fluids is going off. Drain Fluids, you can shadow meld it if you want to. As a warrior, you can use Safeguard on someone with that. Same as on the first spot when they get the Spit Gold debuff as well. You can Safeguard that. Sorry, Safeguard's pretty giga in here. I forgot to mention that. Now, after the Drain Fluids, you can see Entomb is going off in 10 seconds. When Entomb is going off, we all want to be at our designated sarcophaguses. So what we're going to do is, because a DPS has a chance to get Tomb, but not the healer or the tank. Pretty sure that's right. It's what we do anyway. Healer and the tank are going off to the left side. The 3 DPS are going over to this right side over here. And everyone has an assigned Tomb. So what's going to happen is this Drain Fluid's going off. Entomb is going off in 7 seconds. We're all going to move over to our designated sarcophaguses here. Entomb is going off. Now, what you need to do is you need to click this in about 0.5 of a second. If you click this, so immediately when someone gets put in, they need to press the action button to wobble it. Somebody needs to be staring in front of their sarcophagus. The moment they see it jolt, they need to click it and get it out. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to bug Makimba out, and he's not going to do anything for the rest of the fight. So you can see here, Entomb's gone off. We already got it out. We actually managed to cop a skeleton. I don't know why. We got the right one out, and then we get this motherfucker up here that everybody missed, and the cast goes off. So generally what happens if you click the wrong tomb, you get a mummy. But we clicked the right tomb, and we still got a mummy. So GG to that. Now you can see the mummy does a cast and it leaves a debuff on everyone. So what you need to do, it's not the end of the world if you get one of these. Just you don't even need to hard switch to the mummy. All you need to do is make sure that you have the interrupts. So he does this Wretched Discharge. Just make sure you're kicking them. That's pretty much all you have to do. Kill the mummy, kick the discharge, and that's it. Now the rest of Makimba from here is just a tank and spank. Now be aware, he does a lot of damage. Now this is a fortified key, not a Tyrant key. The only time you possibly wouldn't want to do this strat is like a tyrannical necrotic week. Reason being is A, he slaps very hard, and B, you have no way, unless you're going to taunt, ping pong it, or a racial, to drop your necrotic stack. So maybe the only time you wouldn't want to do it. However, it is a ridiculous time save in doing it this way, because you don't have to deal with any more entombs, any more drain fluids, any more burns. It's just tank and spank. So easiest way to do it if you have the capability to do that. Absolutely do it. So then we're coming up around this corner now. What I want to talk about here. There's two things you can do here. One, if you have severely large cojones, is that you can shroud with your Roggle all the way up here, and you can skip the 3 here and the 2 mobs here. And you can go all the way up to the end, and you can fight the Double Raptor Beastmaster pack, and then get the Brute when it comes back. And then you can just hug the wall and go into an obelisk. That's real big though. That's real big. I'm going to show you the safety simp way, okay? So, Coming up here, I got the double priests and the berserker. Now the priests, you want to interrupt the spectral bolts. The spectral bolts hurt, especially on fortified, especially on bolstering. The berserker does a hell of a lot of damage as well via a dot that he puts on you, the bleed. So again, your priority is to make sure that you're interrupting the spectral bolts. You can see here the severing blade. This is the dot that gets applied to you. This chunks for a lot of damage. Generally, you can survive if you get 2 on you. However, if you are really struggling for damage, you can run away and let somebody else, it's a proximity thing, whoever is closest to the berserker after its leap will end up getting that dot. Now, if you've got hunter's pets, you can actually put the hunter's pets next to them and everyone get away, and the hunter's pet will take the bleed, same as do mages still have water elementals? I reckon they do, and I reckon it works on it. Does anyone play frost though? Is that a frost thing? I don't know. Rogues can parry it though, otherwise anyone else can take it. Just try not to take too many stacks of it as it will kill you. So we're killing them, and then we're moving on to these next 2 here, Berserker and Doctor again. The Doctor's going to drop a totem, like a healing totem. You can either switch to it and kill it, otherwise you can just leg it away. It's probably quicker sometimes to leg it away from the totem rather than killing it. However, group preference, just go with you. So you can see the totems here. We killed it, and then we sort of spoke about the fact that it would have just been quicker to have dragged them away. So, you know, you do you, make your own decision there. Now, once they're dead, we're moving into this top pack, and you can see the brute is padding away. Generally, you probably don't want to pull the brute with the double raptor beastmaster. Things can get a little bit sketchy. Now, you absolutely can. You just have to be managing quite a bit. And the safest option is to just let the brute pad away and then pull this pack. Now again, the raptors, they're going to do their hunting leaps. You just don't want to get hit by a hunting leap by standing it in front of it. Remember that you can grip them off. The beastmaster is going to do a poison barrage. It targets someone and it sprays out a poison barrage of arrows in a frontal cone at them. Face it away from your group, stun them, grip them off. DKs can also control undead for them. It does a shitload of damage. The problem with controlling undead though in Season 4 is if you lose your mob in an awakened like in the Nyalotha realm, when you go through an obelisk, if you go to recontrol it and you let go, it immediately goes into the other realm and it runs back. So it's sometimes just easier to kill them. Now we're going to take an obelisk into the middle now because the brute's in a bad spot. If the brute was back here, we would have just taken the brute, killed it here, and then gone into an obelisk. One thing I should mention here, I spoke about with the rogue, how you can shroud up here and skip the 2 packs we just killed. You'd be getting into the obelisk by hugging the wall. You would have killed that pack we just killed. You'd wait for the brute and kill the brute, and then you would hug this wall and get into the obelisk and take the obelisk where we're going to go. Now, with our strat, it doesn't really matter which obelisk you do first. We did this one first. It doesn't matter. Again, with the spider, with the orb weaver or the void weaver, 2 kicks is all you need. 2 kicks and there's a lap. So make sure you have 2 kicks set out. Get your kicks, move. When the scarabs go to explode, don't be standing in the big bad green stuff. That's bad. It will kill you if it's a high enough key. It will literally one-shot you. So we're just going to keep moving. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this Void Weaver, we're going to drag it to the middle of the bridge here. This is the gate you go across to Zul. This is where we've put it. So we're just putting it on this pack you can see in the other realm. And we would generally, because we would have killed the brute already, say if we had better padding, we would have killed that and we would be coming out to fight this pack now. Now, because the brute was in a shitty spot, we're running all the way back to this obelisk portal here, and we're going to grab the brute out here and kill the brute, and then we're going to take our next obelisk. So we're doing things a little bit backwards, but the obelisk placement is still the exact same thing you'd be doing. Now, the brute does a ground crush. You can grip it off. You can have it Ring of Peace out of the way. You can actually just take it and get punted into the roof too. It won't kill you if you're topped up or you've got something rolling in regards to mitigation. Otherwise, just run out of the big ground crash and that's pretty much it. Now, once he's dead, we've got the obelisk in the middle, remember you can see up there? We're going to take this blob and we're going to take it all the way to the last boss. Now, you can see here the blob, there's all the tentacles. Just getting the blob out of the way so my group doesn't have a purple trail of shit as they try to access the tentacles. You can snap the tentacles if you wanted to leg them to another area. However, this room is really easy to kill tentacles in. You can see the last one is being finished up now over here. They bolster again, they enrage, so just keep that in mind. Kicks, stuns, and we're going to run this blob all the way down the bridge, all the way to the next boss's area. Now, when we get to here, we're going to pull the boss. Now, generally with brute padding and things like that, we already would have killed that pack in the middle. However, you have to improvise sometimes and go along with things. We're going to kill it after we kill this boss here. Council boss is 3 bosses. So Zanzal is going to cast lightning bolts, interrupt them. It's also going to cast a poison nova, which you have to interrupt, otherwise it puts a dot on everyone and deals a shitload of damage and you'll probably wipe. So make sure you have somebody always with an interrupt ready for poison nova. That's pretty much it. After a little bit, she's going to do this call of the elements. It's going to spawn, is it 4 totems? I think it's 4 totems. The explosive one is the big one. This is the one that you need to merc ASAP. Once that's done, you can just go and kill the earth wall totem, which is putting a shield on her. There's a torrent totem, and there's also this lightning totem, which if you're in range of it, will interrupt your cast and lock you out. You just want to make sure that you are not within range of that when it's going off. Kill your totems, interrupt your poison volley, and that's pretty much it with her. Next up, and they're always in a different order too, sorry, I should say, guys. Next up is the Conqueror. Conqueror will do a barrel through, he'll mark someone, and he'll charge through them. The damage is split by however many people he passes through. Now, one thing you can do here is you can shadow meld it, you can vanish it, I think you can feign death it as well, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, just have all your group soak it. One thing you can do, because you can actually dodge this barrel through, is if your group, if everybody spins their back to it, they can't dodge it. Everyone takes the absorb, meaning the damage is a lot lower to the group. Now, he'll do this debilitating backhand. If you block it or parry it, you will not get a debuff on you. If you don't, he will put a sundering debuff on you. As the tank, you need to kite away here because you will get absolutely butt slapped. You can also have somebody taunt it and run away and just ping pong it that way as well if you need to. So barrel through here, spinning around so it's at our back. Not a big deal on an 18 one, but worth noting if you're progressing into higher keys or if you're under geared or anything like that. Again, there came the backhand. I didn't have to worry about it because I parried it again and he's pretty much dead. So once he's down, we're on to the last one, and this is the one that generally people have the biggest issues with, Cooler the Butcher. Now, I'm going to tank Cooler the Butcher right here. It's going to do this whirling axes that's going to come out, and all you're going to do as the tank here is you are going to move out of this swirl. Whirling axes are going to drop, it's going to pass, and you're going to run straight back in. That's what you're doing for the entirety of this fight. Just moving out, running back in. Moving out, running back in. Whirling axes are coming out, swirl goes out, wait for it to go past me, straight back in. That simple. Now, one thing you will have to deal with as well through this is on the council is the bosses you've already dealt with. So sometimes you'll be getting barrel throughs from the ghost of the other one. You'll also be getting a poison nova that'll just pop up and you need to run over and interrupt it. Just make sure you're paying attention to that stuff. But that is pretty much it. So once she's dead, we're going back into this portal now, and we're going to go and fix up our middle pack. So into this portal here, running through all of this up to the middle pack here, and we're coming out to these 3. When you come out, if you do it this way, you will get your little RP skip here. It's not really a big issue. Just be aware you're going to walk into a shitload of damage. So Spectral Bolts, the Beastmaster, just watch out with its poison nova, or its poison volley, or whatever it's called. Make sure you're facing that away and you're stunning whenever you can. The hunting leap from the raptor here, make sure you're not getting fucked by that. And interrupting the spectral bolts from the priest is another huge thing. Now, you can see we used Hero on... again, I've been really shit on this. Hero was the first 3 Guardians, then Makimba, and then Zulon Fortified. On Tyrannical, it would always be the first boss, then generally, whenever it comes up again, perhaps Makimba's room, and then the final boss. And sometimes if, you're pushing for time and things like that, or the higher the key goes, you'll generally be doing an obelisk with the last boss as well, which you will always want Hero for. However, this is the safest way to do it. That's just what I'm down for showing you. Now, Zul does a lot of damage. He just stands there and casts shadow barrages at you, and they fucking hurt. Now, as a brewmaster, you can just step over to the side, hit a little bit of that Zen Med action, and just take 4 casts without having to worry about it. Now, you can see this little shadow circle goes on the ground. Now, somebody generally needs to soak that, or you need to run away. Now, nobody was paying attention because we were just talking shit. So I ran over to soak it, but then I take more damage, and I'm not in range to death strike him, which as a DK is severely shit to my health pool. So I got the fuck out of there. So if no one's going to soak it, leg it away from this purple bad circle of badness and just get out of there. If no one's going to do it, just run like all the way over here and not be in range of this purple explosionist. He is still going to be casting shadow barrages on you, which is going to hurt. So again, this is the reason why you'd be heroing on Fortified Zul. That's pretty much it. Another thing you can do with Zul actually is you can run him away to Narnia, but you would have had to have cleared the whole bridge if you're going to run him away and just not worry about any of those casts. But that's generally the brick wall you'll find in a key, but majority of people watching the key and their level they're going to be doing here should be sort of just fine with Zul. So now we're just on to the final boss because we don't have any obelisks to worry about. So we're on King Dazar here. Now King Dazar, couple of things to be wary with him. He will do a blade combo, which as the tank, you always want to have active mitigation rolling for. As a blood DK, you always want to have a way to recover for this. So you always want to have runes stored for recovery. I don't know why I had this little jump in my voice then. And you also want to have runic power stored for a death strike after that final blade combo hit where you can bounce yourself back up from your damage taken. He'll do these gale slashes. Again, just watch the tornadoes. They're going to be going in opposite directions each time. You can see them coming around here and they will just rotate around the encounter space. You don't want to get hit by them. Again, they put a fairly nasty dot on you. He will call Raban here. Raban will do a hunting leap as well. Again, remember that you can grip these off. So you can see I grip Raban off his hunting leap there. It keeps cleave going and no one gets hit by hunting cleave is the big bonus to that one. So again, blade combos here, you can see how much damage they do. Quaking Leap will be going on people, so they just need to make sure they get the hell out of the way. Big thing when he brings out Tazala here is this Deathly Roar. So if you're a warrior, Zerka Rage, if you are a Blood DK, AMS, if you're a DK, AMS, main thing is, or if you're a Shaman, drop your Tremor Totem. Main thing is though, if you don't have anything to avoid this Deathly Roar, the fear, you either need to be topped up or have some kind of mitigation rolling before you get feared because you're probably going to cop hits in the back, which you can't dodge or parry and will pretty much own you. So just be really careful of that. Have been murked by that before. So Deathly Roar's coming out. I've hit AMS. I don't get feared. I don't have to worry about it. You want to get Tazala down ASAP for the reason of not copping any more Deathly Roars than you have to. And on this one, on a Fortified, it just melts and we don't even cop the second Deathly Roar. But just be aware of that in higher keys and things like that. You will cop Deathly Roars, have something planned out for them so you don't die. Gale Slashes, again, I've mentioned about them and the blade combo. That's pretty much it, guys. The last thing I need to cover off with him is the spears from the roof. So you can see here, spears from the roof come around. Now you can generally, if you're standing over in this area here, you'll be able to see where the spears are coming from. And if you're on the right side of things here, I don't know what my dog's doing, you can see they'll start over here. Now I don't have to worry about them until they come all the way back around here. And even then, there's two patterns that go on for this. In this current pattern where it's just like 1, 1, 1, it stops here. So I can just wait for it to come around. When it eventually gets around here, it's like over here at the moment, you can see it. I'll just be able to move back. Now the other one is 2 at a time. When that one's happening, you will actually need to wait for one to land and then run in between it when it comes around as it cycles a little bit further. But you can see here, see how this is just kind of coming and there's no gaps. It's just one big thing and it will stop like here. And then we don't have to worry about it. So if you can just pull him back to here, wait, if it's that pattern, you can come back. If it's the other pattern where it's the 2s, you will kind of had to wait for it to get here, the spears to drop and then run through. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully that's helped you out. Again, it wasn't supposed to be a full dungeon overview in regards to everything and every single mob. I should have probably said that at the start, not the end of the video. But hopefully that gives you the confidence in regards to what to do with the obelisks and what kind of route to take in King's Rest. As I certainly know, the kind of pressures that come with being a tank and everyone depending on you in regards to the route. It's just on the tank to do where we're putting the obelisks and things like that. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, come find me on Twitch, come join the Discord, and I'll see you all next time. See you, fam.